It's Tuesday morning. Welcome to today's market. SITREP, Matt Buckley, call sign Whiz, Chief Investment Strategist here at WCI and TGO. Thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the terrorist attack in Boston. Forgive me, Mr. President, for my dark chuckle when you say that whoever is responsible will feel the full force of justice. You said that about 4 Americans that got killed in Benghazi. Nobody took responsibility. Nobody's been brought to justice. It's forgotten. But that was overseas, right? 4 Americans dead overseas is okay, but 3 people dead in Boston. Full weight of U.S. justice. And just a quick shout out to MSNBC, CNN, Chris Matthews, and all those other idiots who immediately went to it's some right-wing extremist. It's tax day and these guys are nuts. Isn't that incredible, folks? The same type of people who plead for tolerance and we need to get to the bottom of this and don't jump to the conclusion that it's terrorist and Islamic militant are the ones who immediately jump and say it's some probably right-wing Tea Partier. Isn't that nuts, folks? It's absolutely nuts. Even though the person of interest they have in custody is a 20-year-old Saudi national. They raided his apartment. He was lying there injured, asking if anybody got killed, asked if a second bomb went off. Seriously? And we have the liberals in the media seeing if it's a Tea Party individual. Don't get me started, folks. It's just absolutely incredible. More on this to come. Just absolutely incredible. But thoughts and prayers go out to the victims. Need to take the fight to them, folks. 8 years under Bush, we took the fight to them. We killed people and we put people in a prison so they couldn't do harm. This president is bowing to a Saudi king, is pulling us out from all these places instead of taking the fight to them and gutting defense so he can have Justin Timberlake and Queen Latifah at the White House. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You can't make it up. This will continue to happen until we understand and recognize that these people, all they understand is force. Lived in Saudi Arabia for 3 months. I've been in the region. I know the people. And for centuries, all they understand is the sword. If you think bowing to them or talking to them or wanting to play nice with them is going to work, lower your head so the sword can pick up more velocity. And forgive me for being so blunt today, but this disgusts me. Whenever we let our guard down, folks, stuff like this happens. I thought our country would have woken up after 9/11, and we fell asleep again, and people die. Folks, obviously, the past couple days in the market has just been absolutely nuts. Obviously, the gold sell-off spiraled yesterday. The worst two-day sell-off in gold since 1980 when I was about 12 years old. It fed on itself, margin selling, the CME, other institutions raising margin requirements on gold. So it fed on itself, folks. Right now, gold's indicating up. The GLD's indicating up. So I wouldn't step in just yet, folks. You need to see about 2 days after a gap move down like that. I like to see a half a gap retracement before I say, okay, the water's warm. Let's jump into the pool. Same thing with the S&P. The futures are indicating up. Got some, I'm going to say, lukewarm news pre-market. Building permits were down. Housing starts were up. Great. We had some core CPI, which is ex-food, energy, and CPI came in down. That's good that inflation's in check. That's also bad for gold. But building permits came in light, folks. That's not good. Weak building permits, weak retail sales, bad employment numbers a couple weeks ago. This does not portend well for about 3 or 4 months down the road. People pull money out of their pocket to go to the mall. They pull money out of their pocket to buy a house. Building permits are down. And yesterday, in yesterday's carnage, the Empire State Manufacturing Index sucked, but the NAHB, National Association of Home Builders, their index came in at a 42. Is that good or bad, Whiz? Well, it's in red, so it's bad. But folks, anything a reading under 50. A reading above 50 indicates a favorable outlook on home sales. Below indicates a negative outlook. So remember, folks, I've been saying that the 500-pound heads who've been saying, oh, housing, financials and transports, that's old Dow theory. They used to lead us into and out of a recession. Well, guess what? They're now saying housing's going to pull us out of this malaise. Well, housing's starting to implode here, folks, a little bit. starting to see some brown shoots. Thursday, folks, weekly unemployment claims, the Philly Fed, the Conference Board's leading index. That'll be a big potential market moving event. And then Friday, it's kind of all quiet on the Western Front. A lot of stuff going on overseas, though, folks, too. China GDP was really weak. They missed on all three numbers. They had some retail sales, GDP, a lot of domestic numbers that just came in weak. So seeing some interesting developments out of China. Also Japan. One of the reasons that we're seeing this is these interesting moves in the market, especially out of gold, is that even over in Japan, they've taken a note from the U.S. Fed's notebook and said, you know what, we're going to pump the hell out of our market too and devalue our currency. We're pumping about $72 billion a month into our market there, Mr. Bernanke. Top that. And then our Treasury Secretary has the gall to warn Japan about doing this. Maybe that's why people attack us, is because we're so arrogant. Really, Secretary Lew? So you're going to yell at them for printing money and while our Fed chief does the same thing? It's ridiculous. So a lot going on, folks. Earnings today, Goldman Sachs is the giant squid sucking on the face of America, and it prints money. Long position in Goldman Sachs in our primary trade alert model portfolio, which is doing well. You got to be long-term bullish on Goldman Sachs, folks. We have a leap diagonal on that's going to do great because you have to be long-term bullish on Goldman. They print money up, down, sideways. Of course, they took it in the chin like everybody did in the financial tsunami, but they changed their sails and got it together pretty quickly. So good news out of Goldman Sachs this morning, and just a lot going on. I think we're going to see a little bit of a relief rally today. All the futures are indicating up. And seeing a lot of green. I think today's going to be a put your head above the foxhole and see if it's kind of all clear and see what everybody else is doing. Because yesterday was pretty much a panic sell-off. A lot of margin calls on gold, so people either had to sell their gold positions or sell equity positions to meet those margin calls. And now today, once everything is kind of flushed out of the system, it looks like it might be a buying opportunity. But be very, very careful that this isn't a dead cat bounce and we're heading back down to the downside. Had a couple positions on in some other portfolios, a wealth creation portfolio, a bullish double vertical on the VIX. VIX was up about 40% yesterday, and this trade was up about 300% I put on last week. Why? Because, folks, whenever volatility gets down to the this is nuts level, and if you trade with me live, you know that I say this. Whenever, look at the VIX, folks. Whenever it hangs around 13, that's the new normal, quote unquote. Whenever we get a little creeped out, we get a big spike. And look at yesterday, huge spike. And I'm going to close those positions. I tried to close them yesterday. I'll close them today. But if you do not have hedges in your portfolio, you got obliterated yesterday. We have hedges in our portfolios so we don't get obliterated. Whether it's SDS, Sierra Delta Sierra, or the VIX, or just simply some puts on the S&P or bear put spreads. If you're trading this market without protection, you're nuts. Because this music is going to stop. The market's going to keep going up, folks. You can't fight the Fed. $85 billion a month, you can't do it. You don't have a cannon that big enough. But when this music stops, you're going to see days like yesterday all over the place. And make sure you have a chair when the music stops. Make sure you're hedged. That's why I say it. I eat my own dog food. I practice what I preach. So yesterday, instead of getting completely obliterated, I got semi-obliterated and had some positions that were blindingly green. Those are my bilge pumps. When I take a torpedo to the side of my portfolio, I don't sink and I don't roll over. My bilge pumps turn on and I kind of have a frowny face on and I'm worried, but I'm not that worried because I'm not going to sink. And hopefully you're trading like that as well, because if you're not, you're doing it wrong and you're going to get wiped out. Okay, got to get ready for my live trading session in a couple minutes. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. We'll see you.